Welcome students to lesson number 44. In this lesson we will discuss diffraction of light. So what is diffraction of light? The bending of light around the corners of small obstacles and apertures and its consequent spreading into the regions of geometrical shadow is known as your diffraction. So what does this mean is that the light bends around the corners of an object. Such phenomenon is due to diffraction of light. How will you notice diffraction of light? What you can do is, you can take a blade, held it very close to the eye as shown in the picture. Now when you observe this blade, what you will notice is that around the borders or around the corners of these obstacles, the light appears to be fuzzy. Now why there is fuzziness? This is because of bending of light. To understand this phenomenon in a better way, let's consider the example. Suppose you have a light which falls on this opaque object and in turn falls on the screen. So what should actually happen is, as soon as you switch on your light, the light should travel in a straight line. Now if the light travels in the straight line, what happens to the region behind this object? It will be dark because this objects give a shadow on the screen, while about on the top part of the screen. The top part of the screen will be illuminated because the light can fall here directly. There is no obstruction between the light and the screen. But does this actually take place? What actually happens is, when the light falls on the obstacles, some part of the screen turns dark due to the shadow, but most part of the screen is illuminated. And what you particularly notice is that this region was supposed to be dark, but it appears to be illuminated. Let us focus on this region. Let us zoom out. So this particular region has to be dark, but it appears to be illuminated. Now why is it so? It is possible only if the light is not traveling in a straight line. It is possible only if the light bends somewhere at the corner. So what actually happens is that, suppose you have a light, this light bends around the corner, therefore this region is illuminated. Can you notice here? Now the phenomenon of bending of light around the corners of an obstacle is known as the phenomenon of diffraction. Now diffraction is a very microscopic process. To actually observe the phenomenon of diffraction, you will need a microscope. Now when you observe this one with microscope, what you can actually see is that this region will appear to be bright, dark, bright, or I can say this region will form a bright fringe, a dark fringe, bright fringe. Similarly on the down part, bright fringe, dark fringe, bright fringe, dark, and so on. Now the phenomenon of the bending of light around the corners of the obstacle and spreading into the region of the shadows, this phenomenon is known as your diffraction. Fine. So That's it for today's class. Thank you. And if you have any confusion, please don't hesitate to ask. I will re-explain it to you again.